Now, let's move on to the second part. Continue crocheting along the first part. The new stitch technique we'll use is the treble crochet. Now, let's show. The row numbers continue from the first part. So, we'll start with row 56. First, join the yarn. Then, make 3 chains to start. Crochet 2 double crochets into the adjacent double crochet. Then, skip 1 chain space. Crochet 2 double crochets into the chain spaces on either side of the 3 puff stitches. After completing them, crochet 3 double crochets into the chain space on the left. Let's take a look. On the right side, refer to the pattern. Continue repeating the corresponding groups. After completing the corresponding groups, crochet 2 double crochets into the chain spaces on either side of the 3 puff stitches again. Then crochet 1 more double crochet into the chain space on the left. After completing it, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the end. This completes row 56. Next, everyone refer to the pattern and continue crocheting all the way to row 59. Now let's crochet row 60. This row involves crocheting motifs. Except for the first motif, you only need to connect one side. The rest of the motifs need to connect 2 sides. Refer to the pattern. First, crochet the positions where the first motif needs to be connected. That means crocheting the second side. I have already completed this part. Now, move on to crocheting the corner. Start with 3 double crochets. Then crochet 1 chain stitch. Next, take the previously crocheted section. Connect it to row 59. Locate row 59, the gap next to the 4th group, which is right here. Release the loop. Hook the loop through this gap. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. This completes 1 connection. Next, crochet the corner. After finishing the corner, work the edge. You need to crochet while connecting to row 59. From the 3rd group of chain spaces, draw the loop through. Then crochet a chain stitch. Continue to finish this edge. Pay attention. Connect to row 59. After finishing, crochet the third corner. First, crochet 3 double crochets. When crocheting the chain stitch, connect to the beginning chain of row 59. Start with a chain stitch. Draw the loop through from the beginning chain. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. Continue to finish this corner. After completing it, finish the remaining part of the motif. After finishing, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the ends. This completes the first motif. Next, we will crochet the second motif. Similarly, start by finishing the position that connects to the previous one. I have already completed this part. Start by connecting to row 59. The method is the same as before. Finish this part. After finishing, connect it to the previous motif. Note, this corner position, after connecting to row 59, does not need to be connected to the previous motif again. Continue to finish the remaining edges and corners. Pay attention to connecting with the previous motif. This completes the second motif. Next, everyone finish all the remaining motifs. The subsequent motifs also need to be connected to row 59 and the previous motif. The method is the same. Refer to the chart for the specific insertion points. Everyone continue until you finish the 7th motif. Now let's crochet the 8th motif. Here, I'll demonstrate how to crochet this motif. Start with a foundation chain of 3. Then join with a slip stitch to the first chain. Pull tight. That completes the starting chain. Now let's crochet the first row. Make 3 chains to start. Then work a double crochet into the hole of the starting chain. If you can't find the exact spot, just insert the hook roughly. Three chains. Then work 3 double crochets. Three chains. Finally, work 2 double crochets. After completing, leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn. That completes the first row. Now let's crochet the second row. First, join the yarn on the turning chain of the previous row. Make 3 chains to start. Then work the corner in the left chain space. Work a chain after that. Continue working another corner in the left chain space. After completing, work a double crochet on the last double crochet of the previous row. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn. That completes the second row. Now let's crochet the third row. When crocheting this row, you need to connect. First, join the yarn. Then make 3 chains to start. Next, draw the loop through the last stitch of row 59. Then work a double crochet on the turning chain of the previous row. Next, draw the loop through the adjacent chain space. Work a slip stitch. Continue following the chart. Complete the remaining part. Pay attention to connecting with row 59 and the adjacent motif. Finally, work 2 double crochets into the last stitch of the previous row. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn. That completes the third row. The eighth motif is also completed. Row 60 is now fully finished. Next, follow the chart and continue to complete row 64. Now let's work on row 65. First, join the yarn. Then, make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Work 2 more chains. Next, work a DC2 tog in the next 2 chain spaces on the left side. Work 3 more chains. Continue following the chart. Finish this row. After completing the last double crochet decrease, work 1 more double crochet, leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn, then weave in the ends. That completes row 65. Next, follow the chart and complete row 66. Now let's work on row 67. First, join the yarn. Make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Then, work 2 double crochets in the left chain space. Next, in row 65. Between the first DC2 tog, work 1 treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook between these stitches. And pull the yarn through. Slightly raise the loop. Then yarn over. And pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 3 times. Pay attention to wrapping around row 66. This completes 1 treble crochet. Next, work 3 double crochets in the left chain space. Then, in row 65. Between the second DC2 tog, work 1 treble crochet. After completing it, work 2 double crochets in the left chain space. Continue in this manner, following the chart to complete this row. After the last double crochet is completed, leave a yarn tail and fasten off. This completes row 67. For the following rows, refer to the chart to crochet them. All the stitch techniques and methods have been demonstrated. The crochet and connection method for row 71 is the same as before. When connecting this row to the previous one, insert the hook between 2 stitches and draw the loop through. Now, everyone can refer to the chart and crochet on their own. That concludes the second part. Next, let's move on to the third part of the crochet. The crochet for this part is almost identical to the second part. Start by joining the yarn at the same position as the last stitch of row 56 in the second part. Begin crocheting from there. The row numbers for this part continue from the first part. Now, everyone can refer to the chart and crochet this part on their own. That concludes the third part. Next, we'll crochet the edging. Crochet around the edges of the first 3 parts in rounds. The new stitch technique used here is 3 single crochets worked together into 1 stitch. Now, let's show. Here, I'll continue with the demonstration using a small sample. Place the right side of the main body facing you. Join the yarn at the chain space of the first corner of the first part. Chain 1 to begin. Then, crochet 3 single crochets into that chain space. Continue crocheting single crochets along the stitches and chain spaces of the motif. When you encounter the motif positions, follow this method to crochet. After completing the motifs, you will reach the sides of each row. If the edge is a turning chain, pick up the turning chain and crochet 2 single crochets. If the edge is a single crochet, pick up the side of the single crochet, 1-2 strands of yarn, and crochet a single crochet. Continue picking up the turning chain and crocheting when you encounter another turning chain. If the edge is a double crochet, pick up the entire double crochet and crochet into it. When you encounter 2 chain stitches as a turning chain, pick up the turning chain and crochet 2 single crochets. Continue following this method to finish this side. At the corner, crochet 3 single crochets here. After completing this, you will reach the last row of the second section. Pick up the stitches and crochet single crochets 1 by 1. Finish this part. Crochet 3 single crochets for the last stitch of this row. When you encounter such a corner position again, crochet 3 single crochets at the corner. Move down to the other side of the second section and crochet using the same method as the previous side. As you continue crocheting, when you encounter a DC2 tog or a cluster, Pick up the incomplete double crochet and crochet into it. After completing this, you will reach the ending position of the second section, and the beginning position of the third section. Here, crochet at SC3 tog. First, crochet an incomplete single crochet in the second section. Then, in the insertion position of the last stitch of the second section, crochet another incomplete single crochet. Next, crochet an incomplete single crochet at the starting position of the third section. Then, yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook. This completes the SC3 tog. Continue crocheting along the side of the third section. The crocheting method from here on is the same as before. Everyone, finish crocheting the edging. For the placement of the single crochet stitches in the edging, you can refer to the diagram. You can also crochet according to your preference, as long as the fabric piece is even after you finish. Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. Then leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in the end. That's how you complete the edging. And that covers the entire main part. Next, let's make the decorations. Use the remaining yarn to make pom-poms. The finished pom-poms should be about 5-6 centimeters in diameter. The size of the pom-poms can also be adjusted according to your preference. If you have a pom-pom maker, you can use it to make the pom-poms. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, you can use cardboard or any other method you prefer. To make pom-poms of the corresponding size, I'll show you how to make pom-poms using both a pom-pom maker and cardboard. Here are the methods for each. How to make pom-poms using a pom-pom maker. Common pom-pom makers usually come in 4 different sizes. Different sizes result in different size pom-poms. The diameters of the pom-poms made with these sizes are 3.5 centimeters, 5.5 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 9 centimeters. Choose the appropriate size of pom-pom maker based on the diameter of the pom-pom you need. A set of pom-pom makers consists of 2 halves. Open all the clips on top. Then align the points and circles on both sides. Forming 2 arcs. Take out the yarn and wrap it around the arc. Try to wrap it as evenly as possible. Wrap one side of the arc until it is mostly full, or wrap to the desired number of rounds. Once one side is complete, switch direction and wrap the other side. Make sure to wrap this side as well. After wrapping is done, fold it in half and clip the clips together. Cut the yarn tail. From the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker, cut the yarn. Do the same on the other side. Then cut a piece of yarn about 30 centimeters long. Tie a knot through the gap in the middle of the pom-pom maker to secure it. Pull the yarn tail as tight as possible. Go to the other side and tie another knot. Tie a few more knots to make sure it's securely fastened. Then release the pom-pom maker. Fluff it up by rubbing it. And trim it with scissors to make it more rounded. This is what the pom-pom looks like when it's completed. How to make a pom-pom using cardboard. Prepare a piece of thick cardboard that is 1 centimeter wider than the desired diameter of the pom-pom. That means, if the desired diameter of the pom-pom is 4 centimeters, then the width of the cardboard should be 5 centimeters. Cut a slit in the middle. Then wrap the yarn around the cardboard. The number of rounds will affect the fullness of the pom-pom. You can adjust this based on your actual needs and the amount of remaining yarn. After wrapping, cut the yarn. Then cut a piece of the same color yarn that is strong enough. Wrap it around all the loops. Tie a knot. Pass it through to the other side and tie another knot. Tie 2 more knots to secure it. Then remove the loops from the cardboard. Cut the loops at both ends. Fluff up the pom-pom. Use scissors to trim it into a ball shape. This is how to make a pom-pom using cardboard. You can use a string to attach the pom-pom to the fabric. Sew the pom-pom to the main piece below the first row and the second part. And the ending position of the third part. Sew the first row to one corner of each motif on the bottom. There are 16 in total. The second part and the third part each have 8. For these two parts, sew them together roughly evenly. In the finished product, there are approximately 13 stitches between each pom-pom. You can also decide the distribution of the pom-poms based on your preference. Let me demonstrate the sewing method. Before sewing, you can use a darning needle to separate the pom-pom yarn. After completing, thread one of the yarn tails through the darning needle. Then insert it into the corresponding position. Tie the two yarn tails with a double knot. Finally, hide the yarn tails. Hide the other yarn tail as well. That's how you sew one pom-pom. Follow the same method to sew the rest of the pom-poms. Once all the pom-poms are sewn, the decoration is complete. That covers the decorations. Up to this point, we've covered everything about this shawl. If you have any unclear points while crocheting, feel free to ask. You can contact our customer service, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.